The Chicago Bears have an interesting matchup coming up on Sunday night versus the Houston Texans. But one of the matchups that we really got to look at is how do the Chicago Bears secondary match up versus the Texans wide receivers. And you know it's a mailbag episode as well. We're going to talk about it, break it all down, but you got to hear the music first.
Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another episode of Chicago Bears Central, your number one spot for everything Chicago Bears. I'm Bobby, and if you're tuned in with me today, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you bear down and get ready for an exciting game coming up on Sunday. But now when we talk about it, before we talk about that stuff, I want to go ahead and give you guys a mailbag update. Hayes already dropped his mailbag episode earlier this week. If you're tuned in right now, earlier today. If you tuned in right now, this is the second one for today. And we have two more mailbag episodes coming to you guys tomorrow. In the morning, you're going to get the mailbag episode from myself and C-Dub. And then later that day, you will get the next mailbag episode from Hayes. We are prioritizing first-time callers, so please bear with us as we have received about 30 voicemails this week in regards to our Chicago Bears. I'll run through as many as we can. There will be some left out, but do not feel discouraged. We will prioritize first-time callers, and we still will show love to the family members who have helped this channel grow. So continue to call in, and if time permits, we're going to make sure we get everybody squared away. That if y'all keep calling, that means we got more work to do, and we'll do it. Keep it a grand with you. But let's get into the content. So when we look at the Chicago Bears and we look at the Houston Texans, both teams coming off some solid wins last week. The Houston Texans, they went on to beat their division rival in the Indianapolis Colts. The Chicago Bears, had a comeback versus the Tennessee Titans. And then both of those games, and when you look at the matchup that's about to approach and happen on Sunday night, it's very intriguing for a number of reasons. We got one of the best young defensive backfields coming out of Chicago, and I believe they are. If you're talking about a defensive backfield as a whole, early on, I show some respect to the other people, but I believe we have a top 5 secondary. And when you talk about the receivers that's going to be on the Houston Texans side, I believe they got top 5 talent over there as a core. You know what I'm saying? They got more than just the 3 guys that people think that are just the guys of the show with Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, and Tank Dell. But for the Chicago Bears, if we're looking at our defensive secondary, I say we in pretty good hands. Jalen Johnson, Jaquan Brisker, Kyler Gordon, Tariq Stevenson, and Kevin Byard. Over there, along with those 3 guys that I mentioned, you got to also include Dalton Schultz and Joe Mixon within their receiving core, because these guys can absolutely pick up some yak and score touchdowns with the talent that they have. Last week, the Chicago Bears versus the Tennessee Titans, just the defensive backfield accounted for 22 total tackles, 4 pass deflections, 2 interceptions, and only gave up 1 touchdown while holding the Tennessee Titans to 127 yards passing. I say that's a solid day for the Chicago Bears. Now, when you look at the Houston Texans receivers, that's Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell, Joe Mixon, and Dalton Schultz. Last week versus the Indianapolis Colts, this receiving core put up 234 yards, had 24 total receptions, and had 2 touchdowns on the day, and they came out with the dub versus the Indianapolis Colts. Now, if you asking me how should the Bears approach this, you got to get physical with these guys. Now, I don't want to give too much of the insight because we still are going to go into a pregame show to where we further break down this matchup for sure, but it's definitely going to be an intriguing one. And I think that the Chicago Bears, if you look at these guys that's going to be lining up across from you, you have to let them know that you are there early. You have to play a physical brand of football, and you have to remain disciplined. And I know when it comes down to the receivers, the discipline is one thing, but the quarterback can get out of the pocket and make plays with his legs and his brilliant arm talent. That's another thing that the Chicago Bears secondary has to hunker down on and make sure that they are good. I got one question for you guys though. I know Jalen Johnson don't really travel that much. Would y'all prefer Jalen Johnson to travel to say cover Nico Collins on every play? Or do you prefer the Chicago Bears to stick where they at? Stick and let them run it on how they normally run it. You keep JJ on his side, you keep Tyreek Stevenson on his side. Do you still feel confident enough in remaining the same, or do you want to catch somebody else surprise and throw a wrinkle in there? Or do you wait a little bit to throw that wrinkle in there? If you ask me, I say the Chicago Bears allow them to attempt to pick on Tyreek Stevenson, because I don't think Jalen Johnson is going to see a lot of action. And if he does see a lot of action, I believe it's going to be a tug and pull type of matchup with whoever is lining up on this side. I believe Jalen Johnson is a good matchup going up against Stephon Diggs. I also believe he's a good matchup going up against Nico Collins. I believe Kyler Gordon can match up well with Tank Dell as a slot. Now, when it comes down to the tight end, I'm not saying Dalton Schultz is a world beater, but Dalton Schultz is a pretty damn good tight end. So Kyler Gordon, you might see some type of action over there to where they try to work on you. I don't know if Jalen Johnson is going to be, you know what I'm saying? It might depend on formations or whatever it is. You might be seeing Dalton Schultz a little bit. But I still think that the Chicago Bears, that they are in a good position. And then that back end is something that's, I believe, is going to have to make sure that they place themselves in a great position to not give up the big explosive plays, because that's how the game can crack open and it can be really, really bad for the Chicago Bears. But nonetheless, it's going to be an interesting matchup for sure. And may the best group of guys win. Who do y'all got winning the matchup? The receivers of the Houston Texans or the cornerbacks of the Chicago Bears? I know it's a lot of things that you got to tie into that, but how interesting will the matchup be? I think it's going to be a very, very interesting one. Me personally, I don't think it's going to be a crazy high-scoring game. That's just me. That's just me. And if you're waiting on the win-loss, if we're going to win or lose, you got to wait till Sunday right before the game. But that is enough for me talking. Now it's time to get into the mailbag, the meat and potatoes of this episode. We about to go in, and we going to kick this thing off the right way. The first one up is Tyrese.
What up, family? This your man, Tyrese, man, down here in Arkansas, by way of Southside Chicago. Anyway, man, I just wanted to put my little 2 cents in on something. When it come down to Caleb Williams, bro, I know it's his first game as a rookie, you know what I'm saying? And I'm all for that, and I don't really feel like he had a real horrible game. It was bad. Let's just call a spade a spade. It was bad. But I don't really just put all the blame on him. I'm not going to put the blame on him because I did not see Cole Kmet or Gerald Everett in that game at the same time for more than, I know we didn't have that many possessions or whatever, but still, I didn't see no tight end utilization, no chipping and helping with them massive ass tackles that we was going up against. So it was kind of messed up. But I'm gonna tell you one play I did notice that I didn't hear a lot of people talking about on that out and up. If you pay attention to Caleb Williams, he looked at Keenan Allen and rubbed his thigh pads like he was giving him the signal, like, listen, we could do a one up real quick. He missed the throw, but that's some rookie jitters. I really hope Shane Waldron don't be fucking Luke Getsy 2.0. He called a damn good game during the preseason, and I want to see that shit carry over because I don't have time for having anxiety with this fucking piss poor ass play calling from our play callers that we feel like we're gonna have something better in than we had with fucking Lukey Dookie last year. I'm excited about the dub because hell, any win is good for me when it comes down to our Bears. But man, we gonna have to start calling for Shane Waldron to do something better or something, man, because that atrocious. But anyway, man, Chicago, shit, I can't even get the damn saying down. Better fuck down. Chicago up, better down, always.
All right, so we heard from Tyrese. Tyrese, I'm with you on that point about Caleb Williams, man. I would say that there's some things that he still got to work on. I know that he missed a couple of those passes, and I was anxious to see will he bounce back, and he still missed some of them. But I would say the ending of the game let me know one thing. The ending of the game, the way that he ended the game, it lets me know that he wasn't rattled. You know what I'm saying? There was some nerves there. There was some jitters there. There was some things that was probably on his mind and what he wanted to do better. And he was probably moving too fast because that was his first game. And the game from the preseason is much different from the regular season. And defensive coverages being thrown at you is a lot different as well. But I will say this. He could have absolutely ruined the rest of the game. He could have ruined the comeback. We seen quarterbacks of the past, Justin Fields. We seen players of the past. What's his name that came from Minnesota? Smith Marset. We seen players in the past ruin it. Vegas almost ruined it, but the quarterback didn't ruin it. So it's a dub. You take it for what it is. He will be better for sure. Now, Shane Waldron, that's another thing. But I will say this. At least Shane Waldron, after game one, held himself accountable. He didn't blame anybody else. He didn't go back to the cliche saying that was being said last season. We just got to work on the basics. Remember the Bears were saying that early on in the season? We just got to get back to the basics. We just got to get back. We just got to get back to the basics and trust ourselves and look at our processes. Remember they kept saying that? Shane Waldron ain't say that. He said, I got to do a better job. That's it. He said a little bit more than that, but essentially he said, I have to do a better job. I know the type of tight end I have in Cole Kmet. I know the type of players that I have on my squad. I have to be better. So I'm going to trust him at his word, at least for week one. Now, Sunday night, that's going to be a different matchup. That's going to be a different game. That's going to be something I believe that the Chicago Bears can take advantage of in some regards of the game. Not going to give it to you right now. Make sure you stay tuned for the pregame on Sunday night. But thanks for calling in, Tyrese. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, we get into this next one on the Mailbag episode. This next caller is Dre.
What up? It's Dre. First time calling, but I got something to say that I think is important to this game that's coming up in Houston this weekend. With the receivers being hurt, Dunze, Keenan Allen even being hurt, I think this is the perfect week to do the two tight end set majority of the game. Number one, that'll help negate some of this pass rush off the end that that Houston gonna bring. And number two, it's just the strength of the team right now on the offense because of the injuries with the wide receivers. So, it just would be beneficial to have two tight ends out there majority of the game and run the football and also pass to these tight ends that I feel like are very decent, very good pass catching tight ends. So that's just my comment, my observation of what should go on this weekend. If we do that, I think that'll give us the best chance to win this week. Let me know your thoughts.
All right, so we heard from Dre. Dre, I think that was a very, very great point with the receivers that's being hurt. Roma Dunze, possibly Keenan Allen not being there. I think even if they was there, I think the Chicago Bears should look at going with two tight end sets, more two tight end sets. Me personally, I believe that the Chicago Bears have the advantage in some regards if they decide to run up the A gaps and utilize that. Because the strength of their defensive line comes from their edges, and I would say that the interior part of their D line is not as stout as the interior defensive line that we face versus the Tennessee Titans. So I absolutely will go with more two tight end sets. And then we talking about Tyler Scott getting an opportunity this Sunday. Why not? Utilize that. Set up some run plays. We're going up the gap. Then try to use the trap concept. Then try to get outside zone. And then you use two tight end sets to use play action off of that. With Tyler Scott going down the field to take the top off, Who knows what can happen? And you can also mix in some other things to where you spread them out a little bit after, taking a few attempts up the gut. You spread them out a little bit, send Tyler Scott up the seam, or, what I'm saying, going across the middle. Who knows? We shall see. But I think that was a very good point. Thanks for calling in, Dre. All right, y'all. This next one we're going to get into is from Keith.
What's up, Chicago Bears Central fam? This Keith, aka Keith. I want to just start off that I'm so grateful for this win that we got on Sunday. Upset with the offense, but that's okay because this Sunday is going to be a statement game, in my opinion. Caleb Williams got his little EBGBs up out of there, and he's going to throw four touchdowns this Sunday. Defense going to be stingy because I can guarantee you they watching that film. And it's not going to be easy for the Texans. This game right here is going to be our statement game. First statement game that we're going to have of the year. Because everyone, besides us Bears fans, is thinking we're going to lose this game, and we're not. Caleb Williams is going to be on point. The offensive line going to be 50% better, and everybody going to click. And then we're going to be the talk of the town. Everybody want to say this and that about Caleb, but hey, he's a rookie. Everybody has their mistakes. But I can guarantee he's going to learn from his mistakes. And like I said, this week that's coming up with the Texans Sunday night, it's going to be a statement game, and that's in my opinion. Everybody probably don't think like that, but in my opinion, this is what's going to happen. We're going to dominate this game, and then everybody's going to start talking about the Bears. But that's all I wanted to say. Chicago up, Bears down.
All right. So we heard from Keith. Keith, thanks for calling in, man. Appreciate you and your wife for always supporting what we do. You definitely been around for a while now on Chicago Bulls and right here on Chicago Bears. So we appreciate you tuning in, you and the wife. We tell her we said hello. But you said this is a statement game? Look, my guy, I'm just saying it could potentially be a statement. The Bears could absolutely look at this the opportunity, use this as an opportunity to let people know this is our coming out party. They very well can do that. There are a lot of people, I'm going to say one person in particular, Colin Cowherd, who said the Chicago Bulls and the Chicago Bears are now about to lose 3 straight games, starting with this one. This Houston, then the Colts, and then, I can't remember the other one. But they could very well use this as an opportunity to say we here. But we shall see what happens. A lot of people gonna give credence. You are right. A lot of people will show the respect to the Houston Texans for what they did last season. You can't be really mad at them because the Bears are still trying to figure it out. And you said Caleb Williams throwing for 4 touchdowns. Whew, that means we whooping them. If Caleb Williams scored 4 touchdowns, that means we whooping the Houston Texans. Hey, I don't know if it's going to be that quick that Caleb Williams go out and get 4 touchdowns, but hey, we seen crazier things in the NFL. And man, hey, if you are right, I'll show you your respect and say, I appreciate you, brother. But we shall see. Thanks for calling in, my guy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, next one up is Greedy.
Yo, this Greedy again, man. I got a question for y'all this week, man, at Chicago Bears Central, man. What y'all think's the keys to beating the Texans if we was to beat them this week? What do y'all think will be the keys to beat the Texans? Do you think our offense will flourish? I mean, because I'm concerned, but I'm not concerned because I just didn't like the fact that they was getting, you know what I'm saying, bullied a little bit. But besides that, I mean, it was a good game. But it's like the training camp. One day the offense win, one day the defense win. So maybe next week it'll be better. But what do y'all think the keys is to beating the Texans next week? And you think Caleb debut next week against CJ Stroud will be better?
All right, so we heard from Greedy. Greedy, I can't give you everything because there's still a pregame that needs to be done on Sunday right before the game. But I will say this. The Chicago Bears on offense need to establish the run. To the earlier point made by Keith, Dre, utilizing more two tight end sets in this game could be very well be a benefit to the Chicago Bears. Run the ball. And then number two, I'm going to throw out a homework challenge for you guys. Go back, NFL.com, watch the condensed version of the game. So all you need is 30 minutes. It ain't the full 3 hours. The condensed game is 30 minutes. You got 30 minutes. I know you do. Put the phone down. Go watch the film. For the Bears defense, what side, when the Houston Texans need extra downs, what side do they run on the most? And behind who? That'll be your next key. That's your homework, Gritty. Tell me, because I'm going to let you know Sunday night for sure. Got to get your homework, big dog. Got to get your homework. I'm just saying. That's one thing that they love to do that the Bears defense need to keep their eyes on. But they can very well set something else. Set something up else, utilizing what side of their formation and who they're running behind. So be prepared in that regard. Thanks for calling in, Greedy. You trying to make me drop gems on this mailbag episode. But be prepared. I'll be prepared because we're going to definitely chop it up coming up here soon. But, ladies and gentlemen, the last one for today is going to be from Xavier. Here it is.
Man, what's going on, guys? This your boy Xavier calling in again, man. I just wanted to speak on a few things, man. Everybody seemed to be overreacting with this whole Caleb Williams thing, man. Like, look, bro, he is not about to be fucking Ryan Leaf. We got to get that out y'all heads. Like, bro, y'all acting like this dude is a bust already. Bro, I get it. He did not look good. I ain't going to make excuses. I ain't going to sugarcoat it because we don't do that. But, you know, he didn't look good, but he's not about to be Ryan Leaf for one. For two, yes, the O-line did not look good. I understand that wholeheartedly. I agree. But, bro, that's just obvious shit that we all seen. We have to understand that, like, if the problem with Justin Fields was that he was holding on to the ball and we wanted him to get the ball out faster, then we got to look at it the same way with Caleb starting off, at least, because the line don't seem to be improved at all. It still looks as bad as it did last year when Justin was behind it, which was the problem, I think, with Justin, more so than anything. I mean, yeah, he was holding on to the ball long. I get it, bro. But he really had the luxury of having good time to throw the ball. And when he did, he was shell-shocked from getting beat up so much that he was just fucking airmailing it or holding on to it a little too long because he was surprised that he had that much time to hold on to the ball. That's just my opinion. But it seems that we got to understand that, like, look, Caleb got to get the ball out faster as well, bro. And using the tight ends, I feel like that'll help him a lot. Like, man, just get that ball out, bro. Like, man, how those short routes, short and intermediate routes, it'll help him. I think, like, once he gets into a rhythm, Caleb is more of a rhythm player. He's been like that, even if you go back to USC. When they were rolling on offense, Caleb was in rhythm, and they was boom, boom, boom. Like, getting those plays in, getting those passes off, and getting the ball out of his hand fast. Then we can go for the longer down the field stuff. We can go for some play actions if we get the run game involved, things of that nature. But get that ball out of his hand faster. And I feel like that'll help him tremendously, just on slants and, three-step drops and things of that nature. Like, bro, he just got to get the ball out faster because the line is still horrible, and we all know that. But, yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say, man. Chicago up, Bear down.
Appreciate you for calling in, Xavier. And I think you hit the nail right on the head, man. People got to pump the brakes a little bit. I understand that, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people expect him to come out the gate and just be firing on all cylinders. But that was kind of like the message that was coming from a number of people from this channel, more specifically Hayes School, because y'all see him every single day versus, you know what I'm saying, not seeing me and the other guys so much. But the message still was the same. It's going to take some time. It's going to take some time. Now, should it have been that bad when it comes to the completion percentage? Probably not, but it's going to get better. A lot of quarterbacks start off their rookie campaigns not doing so great. I mean, I understand people gonna compare Jaden Daniels and say that, but this is not Jaden Daniels. This is Caleb Williams, and everybody moves at their own speed. We just hope that Caleb Williams can adjust fast enough to where we can say, "Hey, the Bears are gonna do some things this season. We go into the playoffs." Even if we look at Jordan Love, the rival, he didn't come out last season firing on all cylinders. What do everybody say that he did? The second half of the season, Jordan Love. So it's still some time for Caleb Williams to grow. The game is going to have to slow down for him. How fast is that going to happen? We shall see. But in the meantime, we won the game. We're going to win a few more games. Because of the defense, you know what I'm saying, is going to hold us and keep us in position. And Caleb Williams just has to go create magic when necessary. When it comes down to getting surgical with this shit, that's going to come over time. But he's still going to go out there and be able to display his talent and be able to help the Chicago Bears win some games. That's all that matters. And we still going to hold him to the standard. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have some grace with him, but we still going to hold him to that standard of us wanting to see him progress. I say the end of the last game versus the Titans, that end of the game to close it out, he did everything that he was supposed to do. He didn't screw the game. Will Levis screwed the game. Caleb Williams closed the game. He helped close the game. So that's it. That's it for this. That's it for the mailbag, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe. Tune in, chime in down below. If you got any questions, feedback, concerns, hit us up, chicagobearcentral@gmail.com to let us know how we doing. Make sure on the podcast side, you give us a 5-star review. Make sure you subscribe here. And if you want to call in, be a part of the mailbag episode going on every single weekend, call in 773-242-9336. Thank y'all so much. We appreciate y'all. Y'all know we finna roll out and we about to turn up. Chi-Town up and bear down, baby. Catch y'all on the next one for sure.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.